Nama saya Sean, sekarang kelas 9, umur 15 di Xin Zhong School. When I first found out about the scholarship through social media and from my mom telling me, I had like this feeling that I wanted to register and apply for it. And like after filling in all the necessary forms, I was invited to do the test, and so studied. I studied quite a lot for this test that they were gonna have. It was like around April. Yeah, and then after the test, I kind of just waited a little bit, and after a month or around a month, they gave out the announcement that I actually passed the test and I was gonna move on to the interview, and the interview it seemed a lot scarier to me because I've never done an interview with this high stakes. But I just readied myself and I trusted in God that I could do it. And during the interview, the interviewers were actually really friendly, and they were speaking in a way that was very relaxing, and I was able to answer the questions, and I was less nervous than I was before. And after the interview ended, there was about another month of waiting until I ended up receiving the email where I got the scholarship, and after that I was really happy and also really nervous for what was to come, but I know that it's gonna be fine because I have God by my side, and I can just relax knowing that, well, yeah, it's gonna be fine. In Singapore, I believe that I can learn more about science and research in general, and I want to be able to use that knowledge to like help those people who are in need and stuff like that. Like need those people who are starving for food, and I decided to have the additional courses in other places to prepare for both the test and the interview, especially in math and English, because those are the two subjects being tested. Saya harus belajar cuci baju, terus masak makanan, terus bagaimana bersihkan ruangannya, dan ya lain-lain yang banyak. Oke, pakai uangnya kayak managing money. Nanti di Singapura 4 tahun di sana sekolahnya sampai junior college 2. Mulainya secondary 3, terus selesainya junior college 2.
My name is Fidi. I am 12 years old right now and sekolah di Xin Zhong School. I apply for ASEAN Scholarship because I believe education sistemnya Singapura sangat bagus. So I could learn more di Singapura than new subject we haven't learned before, kayak geography. I prepared very hard for the test. I learned at least 3 hours every day for the test because the main subjects are math and English. I had to learn new vocabulary and practice more. For the interview, I just practiced my fluency, delivering my speech, and so I don't mess up in the interview. I prepared for around 1.5 years sepertinya. I have to prepare myself for the education system there, and I have to be more responsible because I would have to wash my own clothes. I have to manage my own time well, and I have to learn this quickly so I don't get left behind.
This medal is for I guess, and this was for science, and it's gold medal, so it's pretty hard to get, and the questions were actually quite difficult, and yeah, that was the hardest part, just answering the questions on time while it being correct and stuff. Yeah. Then for this is Sasmo's math competition, and same thing with Siamo. These are both math competitions, and like most of the questions in these math competitions, they require you to like think outside of the box and combine and spot patterns and try to come up with new ideas in order to solve the questions while doing so in a shorter time frame. So yeah, that's the most challenging part for me. And this is a gold medal in WSC World Scholars Cup. Is kind of like a debate competition. That's what's most known for, and it's really hard to get for WSC. You need to study the curriculum about it, and you also need to actually speak fluently and not crack under the pressure. That's probably the hardest part for me. But through preparation and willpower, I was able to do it.
So ini WME, it's a math competition. It usually implements patterns and logic, so you have to prepare a lot beforehand. This is Science Olympiad, Hong Kong, HKISO, sorry. You have to memorize a lot for this one because it's science, and some of them are logic too. And this one is HKICO. It's a coding or programming competition. You have to answer the questions correctly and fill in the blank. You have to have a lot of, banyak logic ini. You have to think a lot.
Tuh, mereka apply sendiri. Terus, tapi memang kebetulan setiap tahun dari SMP Xin Zhong itu selalu ada anak. Seingat saya ya, itu mulai tahun 2016. Oke. Setiap Asian Scholarship yang didapat sama anak ini biasanya itu offer dari MOI-nya Singapura. Jadi anak ini secara mandiri, secara inisiatif mereka apply. Biasanya akan dibuka di website gitu, mereka apply. Biasanya mereka harus memberikan kayak portfolionya gitu ya. Kemudian nanti diseleksi, setelah diseleksi anak-anak akan ada interviewnya, tes tulis. Kemudian setelah lolos tes tulis, maka anak-anak akan mengikuti interview gitu. Kemudian setelah itu pengumuman. Apakah diterima apakah berhak mendapatkan Asian Scholarship-nya. Betul, dari Minister of Education-nya Singapura. Iya, biasanya mereka akan melanjutkan sampai SMA. Dan setahu saya sih setiap ini dievaluasi ya sama pemerintah. Jadi mereka nanti di bulan November mereka sudah official jadi anaknya jadi murid di Singapura, di sekolah Singapura. Kalau kebanyakan yang saya tahu ya, anak-anak kita itu kebanyakan keterima di Victoria School, di Cedar sama di Commonwealth. Itu salah satu yang setahu saya juga salah satu sekolah yang baik ya di Singapura. Saya ingat saya itu mulai tahun 2015-2016, angkatan keduanya Xin Zhong yang mulai mendapatkan Asian Scholarship. Oke, kalau dari sekolah sih lebih ke arah memfasilitasi atau memberikan wadah buat anak-anak ya. Jadi setiap kegiatan yang sekolah buat, program-program yang sekolah buat itu berusaha mengeksplor anak-anak. Kayak misalnya tadi kan anak-anak ada yang cerita tentang penghargaan sains gitu ya. Kita ada beberapa kegiatan selain pelajaran gitu ya. Ada kayak komunitas yang namanya SREK untuk yang penelitian-penelitian kayak begitu. Itu sih. Kemudian kalau misalnya anak-anak mau ikut lomba, kita biasanya ada persiapan khusus. Jadi ada drilling lomba untuk anak-anak yang memang mau ikut lomba. Tes yang tertulis biasanya base-nya di tempat-tempat tertentu gitu ya. Terus kalau interviewnya mereka kumpul di satu tempat, tapi langsung dari MOI-nya yang interview. Harapan sekolah Xin Zhong buat anak-anak yang menerima Asian Scholarship ini. Yang pasti ya ilmu yang sudah dipelajari di sekolah Xin Zhong itu bisa di-apply gitu ya, sesuai dengan motto sekolah, cultivating future Asian leaders, so yang just go abroad gitu ya. Jadilah leader di setiap tempat kamu nanti berkarya.